rolling on to Articulation. Now, I'm going to tell you what I think I know about these figures, and someday who knows more will tell you more, or would correct me if I'm wrong. I think these figures were originally penned to come with the ACI body, which is a nice looking body, although I don't think I've ever owned one, so I don't know for sure. I think by the time they got released, they used the IT body. I could be wrong, but what I will say is, the look of it is pretty good. Obviously, Daryl's got uncovered arms, so you're going to see the elbow joint. It is only a 45-degree angle thing. It's not, you're not going to get it any tighter than that. They use the quite large wrist pegs, which look a little bit too obvious for my eye, but I'm not gonna go mental about it, because if it pissed me off that much, I'd get a watch or something like that to cover it up. It's a strange one because it feels really nice, and obviously it's got the sculpted neck and everything, which goes really well with these style shirts. Above the waist, it feels really good and nice and stiff. Below the waist, it feels a little bit loose, and the ankle pegs, they've got a set on each, and then they both come with a slightly longer set of ankle pegs. I don't know what that's about, because I think if you put the longer ankle pegs on, you're going to make the trousers look really short, but I could be wrong with that. Like I say, it is kind of a true type muscle body rip-off kind of thing. What I don't like about it, and the main thing, this is the main thing, I've told you before, I used to make mobile phones for a living, or used to work in stores department, a warehouse, or a mobile phone manufacturing plant, Ericsson's. And when a top cover, or when a piece of plastic of any kind comes out in a mould, it has what they call flash. And what it is it's the seam of the mould, and you get sort of this, can you see this line here? Which then in turn is supposed to be shaved away so you don't see it. If you remember do you remember them old green soldiers when you were a kid? You used to get about 10 soldiers for £1 or some shit like that. Between the legs, they'd never cut that bit of plastic away. That's flash. It's like overspill of plastic or overmold of plastic. That's what that's what this looks like. Look there. What's shaving away? Same edge of there. And I've tidied this one up a little bit. Look there. So the flash on the arms. Now I don't know if all these bodies are like this, or Iminime are picking the bodies up and they're not finishing them off, or what it is, but it's visible too on Rake. I don't know. When I said that these Iminime figures have got some strengths, one of the weaknesses is the body they use, because it's the same with the Chaplin's a little bit loose. The Wall Street Banker, it's not up to much, but I suppose for price of a body, you can put it on a true type, the equivalent true type that you would need, and you've got a nearly perfect figure. So I guess that's the thinking. But, like, again, the hand sculpts. Look at the, again, flash marks around here. And it's like the hands all need tidying up and like shaving down, because where it's been sculpted is very visible. But like, it's a nitpick, I suppose, but you pay 300 plus quid for a figure, or $500, you don't want to have to start shaving fucking excess plastic off his arm. So, like I said, I always review honest, and I know Denny Kim might watch this because he did the Chaplin video, and I am friends with him on Facebook, and he might say, what the fuck you said that for, Clipper? But I say it because if I don't say it, or if anybody don't say it, then they're going to carry on doing it. If they think, oh, fucking hell, hold on, somebody's pulled us up, we're using low quality bodies, we'll not do that on his next one, then it's going to be better for everybody. Why sort of sugarcoat it? Because we're not going to get to the level we want to get to. Like I said, I'll sing its praises when it deserves it. The head sculpts are fucking unbelievable. The cut and stitch of the outfits are unbelievable. The licenses they've got is really, really good. But like I say, on the flip side to that, I can't, oh yeah, it's a top body, it's fucking awesome, it's even better than a true type, because I'd be a bullshitter, and I'd be a bad actor, and I'd be a fucking liar, and I don't want to be that. So like I said, for me, the body's a little bit cheap feeling. On that, although the elbows are a little bit restricted, on Rick I don't mind, because you don't see the joint as well, I forgot to mention that, because of the sleeves. I haven't tried to get either into a pose that they won't do. So, like I say, although the elbow joints are restricted, they will still do most of the poses that the accessories would cry out for, namely two-handed with a shot, with a rifle, two-handed with a crossbow, and like I said, when it's posed, it does look, the lines are really natural looking, like Rake with his Colt Python extended, does look really natural. So the body looks good, but doesn't feel awesome. So like I said, articulation, I'm gonna give them both a 3 out of 5. Like I said, I'm not sucking no arses. And like I say, if Denny does watch, I'm only calling it honest, buddy. I hope you respect that. Moving on to extras and accessories. I'll show you the figures first. Pan away. Got Daryl with his arms folded, kind of back-to-back pose. Both looking fucking fresh to death. Rake's got the sniper rifle on his hip. Ooh, that's lovely, that. Get all angles you want, and it's lovely. It's lovely from every angle. Nice. Right, who brings what? Daryl, obviously, the outfit he's wearing, as you can see, I've got nothing on him. It's pretty much straight out of the box. Like I said, all these are bagged. They're not put in the box displayed sort of thing, which is a little bit, I don't know, leaves a lot to be desired, but that's how it is. The biggest thing is the poncho. Like I said, is awesome, excellent material, excellent print, fits him really nice. On top of that, you get the certificate of authenticity. As you can see, pause that if you want to read it. Number 31, signed by everybody involved. Congratulations on your purchase of the 1/6 collection of handmade crossbow hunter custom figure, and then tells you who did what. Nice. And then you get a picture of, no, I'd do that. Picture him. It's like a gloss photo, looking really good. Nice posed up with his poncho on. One weird thing, the hand that you see here, like this spread hand, you don't get it with the figure. So I don't know what's that about. I've said that before. It pisses me off when they show you things on the production shots and then you don't get them. But like I said, I don't understand why. But yeah, you don't get that hand, but it's on the picture. So anyway, you get this tube which wraps sort of over one shoulder, and you can carry his arrows in, which I've just dropped. So bear with me. Just wanted to display one here. Get 4 arrows. I'm gonna black a white background so we can see them. As you can see, they're coloured like in the show. Nice pointed. They'll go into there, and that's how all 4 would look if they're in there. You get this little sort of survival knife. There's no sheath on his belt for that to go into. I don't know if it's supposed to be or not. I don't know if that's how it is in the program, but you could. He does wear a belt, so you could obviously just tuck it into the belt. I did do a pose with it in his hand earlier on. Then obviously his main accessory, and the one everybody wants, is the crossbow, which is really nice. Now, the only moving parts on it is the elastic. Rest of it is just sculpted, but it's done really well. It does hold it really nice. The hands fit it right. So he's got the arrows slung underneath. Now, when you put in the arrows on, this sort of a cutaway underneath that you slide the arrows onto. And then so the arrows sort of, bottom of the arrow goes into that section, and it's trapped in there. Very similar to the Rambo bow. So that's how it goes, and like I say, it will fit all 4 arrows, but I did take one out just to show it. So like I say, really nice piece. Only downside with that crossbow is, I'm sure in the show and looking at some pictures, he did actually have an harness on that, or some kind of strap, so he could throw it over his shoulder. And a lot of the poster poses of Daryl, he has got his crossbow over his shoulder, so they should have really put that on. Like I said, it is a nice piece and he does hold it really well. Moving on to Rake. As you can see in his hand, he has got the sniper rifle, really nice. Bolt action, which you can see on the other side. Got a nice sniper lens on the top, really well done. Wood effect, but it is plastic. He's got his belt, which is separate to him when he first comes, and then he's got a little tiny penknife what doesn't open. It's just a rubber sculpt. It looks good, but it doesn't do out. That's sort of on his belt as well. And then, like this walkie-talkie here, nowhere near as good as the T1000 walkie-talkie. Just really soft, pliable rubber, and then it just sort of slips into his belt, and I will put that back on, but it kept falling off, so it's come with that as well. Again, the certificate of authenticity, get my words out, and then the 2 photos that came. Like I said, I'm glad they changed that brown shirt, because it just looked too dirty and not entirely right to me. I think they changed the sculpt a little bit as well from these production shots or prototype shots, but pretty much shows what you're getting. So it did look nice, but I think it looks better on release. So yeah, you do get the 2 photos. Moving down, if you'd have paid £80 extra, you'd have got that sculpt. Like I said, I've got it for the sake of reviewing, but it's a case of, do I want to buy it now, or do I want to send it back to Wyman? In all honesty, I think I will send it back, for the simple reason is, for me to build, like I said earlier, for me to build another rig, it's going to cost me 150, and then obviously price at head on top of that. Do I want to pay that much for another rig when I don't know, the sculpt is very nice but very vacant. I do definitely prefer that sculpt, and I think that's the one that comes standard. So I'm not sure on that sculpt. Comes with his sheriff badge. I'm not sure why, because I'm sure he didn't wear it with this outfit, but it is in there. You see, it's got the King County Sheriff. Quite nicely done. Machete is really nice. I'll try and demonstrate. If you look on the back edge, it's serrated, which I've never seen on an action figure blade before. It's got a real sharp feel to it, and it does hold quite nice in that hand that he's on. It does fit really nice. Probably the major accessory aside from the spare head is the Colt Python, which is real metal. It feels really heavy, does fit in his hand really nice, and does look badass when he's holding it, and that's how mine will be displayed, like the starting pose that I did. So yeah, really nice touch. And like I say, if you're going to customise a rig, how are you going to find that gun? That's what I don't... It's going to be a nightmare to find. You're looking at 20-30 quid just for that gun. So, I don't know. Don't think I'm prepared to put a second one together. But anyway, then I'll show you these hands, because these are the spare hands that both figures get. So you get a set of fists, proper relaxed hands, and then so it will grab some, but quite loosely. And then they both have like a trigger hand and an hand that would cradle the barrel, so to speak. And then, like I said, they both get the extended ankle pegs. Pretty good extras. One key flaw that's missing, no stand. And the reason that it's a key flaw with these is because, like I said, the legs are pretty loose. The boots fit nice and snug, so the ankles are pretty strong, but I suppose somewhere around the knee or the upper rotating section of the leg, they're a little bit loose, and I wouldn't trust them at this price point to go without a stand. So I'm going to pick some stands up and get the decals for them. But on the extras, I've given Rake I only given him a 4 because he didn't bring a stand, and Daryl I'm going to give a 3. He brought a few things, but none of them are proper amazing. Right, rolling on to value, and I'll probably do the sum up here as well. Show you the posers. Going for straight up and down with both of them. Put the accessories away. Just got them stood like that. So, like I said, I picked up the FIDO payments on both figures, so it cost me £400 or £200 each. There had been an amount paid by Ben already, and he had paid the shipping also, although he paid a reduced rate because he was shipping two together. That's the way I understand it. I could be wrong. If I am, somebody let me know. So value-wise, I've got to say, it's a no-brainer. To me, it's awesome value. I'm lucky. I don't know if it's lucky or what it is, but I don't know. Like the guy come to work bought 3 figures off me. Clive bought 3 figures off me last week, paid me through PayPal, told me he was coming through Yorkshire, could he come up to my work on Saturday and pick him up? So yeah, of course you can. He came up, picked his figures up. While he was here, he'd brought 2 up to show me, the Agent Coulson and the DID MI6 figure. Left them with me to review, and they're like, I'll be back up in Yorkshire in about 5 weeks, keep hold of them till then. I'm like, fucking, and I don't understand it. like what I said earlier on, Wyman's also brought me another figure up, which when I do not value it, and I know how limited it is, I know everything about it, and I just can't understand why people well, I can understand it because I'm fucking honest, but people trust me and I'm buzzing. I've got to a really good place within the community where I'm not getting things for free as such, but I'm getting a chance to see these figures at very low cost. And like I said, for Ben to even link this, the fact that he only wanted the final payments clearing on these two figures and linked my name into it, are like, what the fuck? Good man sort of thing. So like I said, massive thanks to him. Like I said, the price, I would think, and this is fact, because while I've been filming this review, my phone's been going mental through Facebook. If you decide to move Rick on, can I buy him? If you decide to move Daryl on, can I buy him? Let me have first dibs, give me a fair price and I'll have him off you tonight. And that's before I've even finished filming review. So I know I can sell these two figures every day a week for more than £200 each. So value to me is a fucking no-brainer. I've got to give both figures £5 each. Anytime you buy a figure and you can mech on it, it's got to be good value. It's like buying money sort of thing. So like I said, to me, to other guys, if you've paid your £300, £350, whatever these figures went for, and then you've put on another £80 for another Town Sheriff sculpt, then I think it's a lot of money and it takes it right up to my limit. I had a dilemma over the weekend. Do I buy the the Hot Toys 1/4 scale Batman? I really want it. I think it looks awesome. I could have got it from Hong Kong to England for £400, which is pretty reasonable, I think, the way I've worked it out. But I'm still holding off because I don't know. £400 is £400, whether it's for a figure or for a PlayStation 4, whatever. £400. I don't want to come across as some kind of snob who's throwing money around, even though I've just made £1,000 on selling things. It don't matter to me. It's still £400. I'm not a fool. So like I say, I'm waiting to see what happens. So like I say, if I'd have paid full price for these figures, then I'd have been scratching my head a little bit. But the price I've paid is how I review it, and I've got to say, they are both beauts. I'm glad to have them both. They're both beauts. Scores, I've got 27 each from a possible 35, which is really good, particularly for a custom figure, because you think the bodies are not awesome, the packaging is not awesome, but a lot of the other categories are awesome. So yeah, that's a really, really good score. If I could only pick one, it would definitely be this one, because I think that sculpt is just how Uncle Clipper wants it. It says everything I need it to say. I think I was talking to Lee, I think, and he said it's flat out season 3. And I would agree with him. I think they both are season 3. But I think the length of the Rick's hair and the fact that he's not gone proper grizzly beard, it could also be back end of season 2. So to me, we are now jumping on and picking up a sheriff version with the art and everything and the bag of guns from season that's clearly season 1. That might be all the figures I need. And like I say, if you could only pick up one, you could only afford one or whatever, I would go for the sheriff. But there's a lot of good sheriffs out there, so maybe that one would be the one to have, because not everybody's going to have that, or not everybody's going to have one as good as that where people can build that one themselves. So that pretty much sums it up. Like I said, massive thanks to Ben and Wyman, and shout out to Tash just for being there sort of thing, and also been my information on everything Dexter and everything the show that these come from. And thanks for your warning. I've just read it about not putting the company's name on anything to do with these figures, and I won't do. So the title of this review, if it seems strange, spread the word that this is what it's really about, because we don't want no film companies dragging it down. So for now, this is a Clipper King, and I'm out of here.